Hi, welcome to the official Leaders Dream Big YouTube channel.
We hope that through this platform, we'll be able to inspire young women to pursue higher education and believe they can achieve anything through hard work and determination.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Matthew and I'm the Executive Director of Leaders Dream Big. Today we have Representative Tulsi Gabbard here to talk about her experiences. A little bit of background about Leaders Dream Big. We are an organization that strives to show underserved students that with hard work and determination they can achieve anything in life. And we do that through annual Washington, D.C. trips. And during COVID, we are putting on virtual programming with Q&A sessions, college and career planning resources, and interviews with congressional leaders to continue fulfilling our goal. So now I'll let Victoria and Clementine introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Victoria Brown, and I am the co-president of Leaders Dream Big at Washtenaw International High School in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Clementine Maynard, and I'm also a junior at Washtenaw International High School. And as Victoria just mentioned, we'll be co-running Waterhigh's chapter of Leaders Dream Big this year. It's my pleasure to introduce Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. She's the Democratic representative for Hawaii's 2nd Congressional District. First elected to Hawaii State Legislator in 2002, she's an accomplished war veteran, serving 2 tours in the Middle East. In 2012, she was elected to United States House of Representatives, and she's also a former presidential candidate. So we're pleased to have her today to talk about her path of success and career path.
Thanks to all of you for inviting me to join you here. And I've just enjoyed reading more about what Leaders Dream Big is all about and how many people you're reaching out to across the country and kind of expanding horizons and showing, as you said, what is possible through hard work and focus and discipline. Really, anything is possible. Do you want me to launch straight in to talk a little bit about my journey? All right. I'm the 4th of 5 kids. I grew up in Hawaii. I have 3 older brothers and a younger sister. And of all the kids in my family, I was by far, without a doubt, the most shy and introverted in the whole group. And people tell me, like, I don't believe that. You've got to be kidding now. You know, you're giving speeches, you're doing interviews, you're talking to people. None of this came easily. I was debilitatingly shy, and I'd make my little sister go out and do all the talking for me, even for simple things like my mom sending us to the grocery store to buy some bread. I would make her talk to the store clerk and anyone who dared to try to have a conversation with us. I really came out of my own, I was able to get past my own fears and anxieties that came with being an introvert and being very shy when I, like you as a teenager, I was wanting to solve problems in my community. I was wanting to make a positive impact, and the environment was the issue that I was most passionate about. I still am, because I grew up playing in the ocean. I grew up surfing, and Hawaii is a beautiful place. And I would literally get angry when I saw, cars driving by and someone throws their empty soda can out the window. That would really piss me off. And so rather than just being angry, I thought, all right, I got to do something about this. And so for me, what started was just grabbing a few of my friends and going out, walking down the street or going to the beach and actually picking up the trash, which was great. And it was very rewarding to know that we were making a very small difference in improving our communities, but it wasn't enough. So I co-founded a nonprofit called Healthy Hawaii Coalition, where we created a program that we took to elementary school kids all across the state of Hawaii, and had a lot of fun writing a script for a skit called The Adventures of Waterwoman and Oily Al. And I was, of course, the original Waterwoman. And we went and gathered in a classroom with a bunch of kids looking like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And it was Waterwoman versus Oily Al. Oily Al doing things like changing the oil in his car and pouring it down the storm drain, which would empty out directly into the beach. Waterwoman saves him just in the nick of time from doing something so terrible and telling him why it was bad. And just going through a few things that we knew kids would recognize and relate to in their own families, in their own everyday lives, but most importantly, getting across the message that there are consequences to the actions that we take, and that we need to care for one another, and we need to care for our home. We need to care for our planet and our community. And that experience for me, you know, I was 16, 17, 18 years old around that time, and I felt so inspired and happy in a deeper way than I had ever really experienced before, because I knew that this was not something I was doing for myself, but I was doing it for others. And that really sparked the passion and commitment that I have throughout my life towards choosing a path of service, which has taken me down the road of nonprofits, of serving in the military, in the National Guard, and now the reserves now for over 17 years, and also serving in public office. I ran for the state house in Hawaii when I was 21, got elected, left when I volunteered to deploy to Iraq in 2004. I came back from my second deployment and served on was elected to and served on the Honolulu City Council. Got to know a lot about potholes and sewage and public safety. And then left the city council when I ran for Congress, and now I'm in my fourth term in Congress, a total of 8 years. You know, I never once, when I was your age, had any thought that I would one day be a member of Congress or that I would one day run for president. I did not have those aspirations at all. And I never considered politics as a quote unquote career. I wasn't even really sure what I wanted to do career-wise, but I knew I wanted to serve, and found that to be the most rewarding path that I could find. And that has been and continues to be my motivating force in making my decisions. And at a practical level, you know, when I'm 21 years old, I'm running for state house. I didn't have a bachelor's degree, had never taken any public speaking or debate training or classes of any sort. I didn't have the kinds of tools and opportunities that many of you have available to you now. But I was able to break out of my anxiety and fears of talking to strangers and speaking in public by always just remembering, hey, you know what, Tulsi, it is not about you. That this is about what you can do for others. And that is an important reflection that I keep at the forefront of everything that I do. Whenever times get tough or you are hit with obstacles, or in the world of politics, people are mean sometimes. And I talked to someone earlier today, they're like, man, politics is dirty, it gets mean, it gets nasty. I would never want to do it. And I can understand that. But at its core, we've got to remember that public office is about public service. There's a lot of ways that I or any one of you can serve. There's no magic checklist saying, okay, you've got to get this degree from this school and get this many years experience in this place or that place. There's no magic playbook for this. I will tell you the only qualification that you need, and the single most important qualification that exists, is what's in your heart and your motivation. Is your motivation for yourself to get a fancy title and have people clap when you walk into a room? Or is your motivation to really be in a position of influence where you can actually bring about a positive change to other people's lives, both in the short term and the long term? And if your motivation is the latter, then you can learn all the other stuff about, you know, how to fundraise, how to knock on doors, how to go out and talk to people, how to debate, all that stuff you can learn. But what can't be learned, what has to exist within your heart, is that motivation to serve.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. That was so inspiring and insightful. We were wondering, as an accomplished veteran and political leader, what is your advice to students from underserved backgrounds who want to pursue ambitious career goals and make a positive impact in their own communities?
I think the thing is, other than not allowing other people to tell you what you can and cannot do, whether it be based on your age, your race, ethnicity, religion, or gender, or or socioeconomic status, what kind, where you went to school, all these different things that are so often used to prejudge people and give them an excuse to tell you why you're not good enough or why you can't do something. Don't listen to those people. That's not useful information, no matter where it comes from. And sometimes it hurts when it comes from people closest to you, but just know that. And then think about, okay, what do I care about? What are the things that I'm most passionate about? And every one of us has different interests and different things that we are really passionate about, different skills or tools that we bring that's unique from one from the other. And I think that's the place to start. You don't have to start with solving an unsolvable problem. Start with something that's within reach, that's within grasp, something that's close to you, that you can wrap your arms around and tackle, and really think creatively about how you can start to impact that. I had a young girl, I think I met her when she was 10 years old, maybe, when I was campaigning for Congress at one point, and her and her dad came out and they came on the side of the road and we were holding my campaign signs and waving to the cars as they drove by. But I got a chance to meet her, and she shared with me the idea that she had to solve a local problem in her community at 10 years old. And I thought, well, gosh, I told her, I said, this is a really good idea. You should stick with this and focus on it and go and talk to your local county council members to make this change, because this is within their jurisdiction. And she listened and she remembered and she followed through. And before she graduated from high school, she accomplished her mission, and she was able to change the law at the local level in their county to solve the problem that she saw when she was 10 years old. And her solution was actually implemented. So like I said, there's no limits. When you see something, you see a problem, see an issue, it may be small and local, or it may be something that's happening on the other side of the world. As long as you're interested and you're passionate about it, and it's coming from that place of caring and actually wanting to solve it, go for it. Learn what you got to learn, do your research, get really smart, anticipate what the attacks or the counters or obstacles will be, and prepare yourself to be able to tackle that issue. Same thing if you're thinking about what you want to do when you're finished with schooling, whether it's to run for office, or maybe you want to be a doctor, or maybe you want to run a business. When I talk about choosing a path of service, a lot of people think, well, that's limited to joining the military, or that's limited to running a nonprofit, but that it doesn't apply to a lot of other professions. But that's false. Whether you want to start, you have a startup, or you step into a role in a business, or you're an educator or a teacher or a doctor, an engineer or a lawyer, any of these fields or sectors of expertise, they're actually neutral. I wouldn't say one is good or one is bad. It's about what you do with it and how you use that position and your education and the skills that you have to make that positive impact, to be of service. There's so many different examples you can look at, but really what the heart of what I'm trying to get across, I guess, is really what's called servant leadership, and recognizing that to be of service, to be a servant leader is not an oxymoron. It means whether you are a leader in an organization or you are an individual, you can apply these principles of servant leadership by making the decisions that you make centered around how can I lead in serving others. And no matter what title you get, or no matter the outcome of your efforts, you will have already achieved success. I think that's a really important thing, because success is often measured in material ways, with, you know, the degrees that hang on your wall, or the titles that you have, or how much money you make. All ventures are not successful. So you may run down a path, and I've done this myself in my own life. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I want to do. I'm really good at it. I know it's a perfect fit. And you go, and then it doesn't work out. And it hurts sometimes, and it can be heartbreaking a little bit sometimes, but those things happen for a reason. And as long as you do your best and your motivation is true and selfless, then what I have experienced is those doors that have closed have allowed me to look around and say, oh my gosh, but look at this opportunity. So things are not always as they appear to be. I go back to, what is that motivation in your heart, that focus, that discipline, and that great hard work ethic that's necessary for you to achieve that success.
Thank you so much for those insights. I really appreciate, especially what you said about taking what you care about and applying it back to your communities. I think that's going to be the most powerful for the students watching this, because they are going to be leaders in their communities, and we're hoping they will be, to improve their communities as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, Congresswoman Gabbard. It's such a pleasure and an honor, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. It is a privilege for me to be a part of your outreach and your service, and how you are paying it forward to others. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video.
Subscribe to our channel for more resources on college and career, leadership, education, interview with leaders, and more.
Follow our other social media pages for updates and upcoming events.
Check out our website for some more ways you can get involved in this project and learn some more about who we are and what we do.